Welcome everyone, today we have a new build guide for Diablo 4. Now in this video, we'll be looking at a very interesting Necromancer build that doesn't require any legendaries. As you can see behind me, I'm currently level 20, I'm clearing out a lot of elites, and my damage is very sufficient. So what I want to show you guys is, although I'm a little squishy, but I can deal a lot of damage. And this build does not require any legendaries. Yes, there will be some legendaries which I'll show you will make you stronger, but you just need the right skill points and also the right skill combinations. You actually just need 2 skills. So just 2 skills and the right skill points, you can be farming elites on world tier 2, and we don't have much difficulty. You can see I will be losing a lot of HP, but I deal a lot of good damage. And what I want to show you guys is, the focus of this build is about gaining a lot of energy and also casting a bone spear and also the corpses. So one highlight over here is, you can see me clearing out the monsters pretty straightforward, and I'll show you guys the whole clip. So over here, one of the testing of this build is how much AoE damage I can deal. So here you can see I'm at a Shire, and this cursed Shire will spawn a lot of monsters. And usually you have 5 waves of enemies, right? But the interesting factor is over here, you can see that I will be able to clear them out before the all 5 wave finishes. So yeah, this build is actually pretty cool. So I was able to clear all the 5 waves with 10 seconds to spare with this build, and this build didn't require any legendaries. So coming over to the game, I'll just show you guys what I started with this build, and you can see I didn't have any legendaries, and later I was able to farm more legendaries and also upgrade the build. So yes, the build, it gets even better if you do have one legendary, and the legendary I got is the Bone Spear. Now, because ideally this is a non-legendary farming build, so what I want to show you guys is just the skill trees, right? So the skill tree is everything over here, and this will get you started to farm a lot more legendaries. In the next video, I'll show you guys how I have gotten about 5 legendaries in the past hour. So quite excited to share that as well, but let's focus on the build first. So what you're going to see is, I'll be going with 1 point into Decompose and also the Enhanced Decompose, because we need more essence. And over here, we'll be going with 5 points into Bone Spear and also its upgrades to gain us more vulnerability. Here, I'll definitely be going with 1 point of Healed Flesh. I tried to go with 2 points, but 1 point is definitely enough. Now the focus over here is that we'll be going with 3 points into Grim Harvest, which allows us to be consuming corpses for more essence. And this makes us a lot more powerful with more essence. I look into getting more damage, I look into better skills, but overall guys, getting more essence means you cast more Bone Spears, and Bone Spears deals a lot of damage. Now you can see over here, only 1 point into Corpse Explosion, and we'll be turning Corpse Explosion into Blight, and the Blighted Corpse Explosion will now deal damage over 6 seconds, and this is perfect to trigger additional corpses. So basically what you're looking at is, we'll be killing monsters, and once you kill the monsters, you cast Corpse Explosion, and after casting Corpse Explosion, you'll be gaining more essence. And then as you deal damage over time with your Corpse Explosion, you'll be gaining more corpses, and this repeats to give you more essences, to cast Bone Spear. Now over here, I had some points to spare, and I didn't really need the more damage with Corpse Explosion. So I went into the Bone Prison, and also Bone Prison gave us more essence. And over here, we'll also be going with more vulnerability. Now here, I did have, I think I had 1 point to spare, so I went to Decrypify. But ideally, you just need 2 skills. You just need Corpse Explosion and also Bone Prison. And this will allow you to do most of the damage. The other debuffs and also curses, I just had them on the side. Now I'm sure by now you guys have noticed, I'm not using any of my minions, simply because after the nerf of the Necromancer, the minions are much weaker, and they're not really worth it. So they keep dying and they keep stealing my corpses, because I want to be summoning minions, I want to be using Corpse Explosion, and in the end, I decided to remove them and get some benefits. So here I went with a 5% critical chance bonus with sacrificing the Skeleton Warriors. And yes, you can go to become a little tankier, or you can gain a little more shadow damage, but ideally you're dealing more damage with more critical hits, and most of the damage is done through the Bone Spears. Now of course over here, with the Skeleton Mages, we'll be going with 15% more damage to vulnerable enemies. Again, we're sacrificing the minions for more damage, because they're dying really fast. So the nerf to the Necromancer is actually pretty massive. And of course, coming back to the replay, you can see the build itself is very straightforward. You just cast your Corpse Explosion everywhere on the floor, and this will trigger more corpses. And then before you know it, everywhere on the floor is corpses, and you pretty much have almost max essence. And then you can be casting a Bone Spear to deal more damage. And this allows you to kill monsters, a wave of monsters very fast. And against elites, you can be trapping them with your Bone Prison, getting more essence, making them more vulnerable, and then killing them with more Corpse Explosion and also Bone Spears. Now before we finish, let's briefly talk about the upgrade potential for this build. You can see I have gotten a few legendaries. So 2 of the legendaries I got a Bloodlance, which is not going to be useful. I'm going with Bone Spears. Now I did get 2 of my offhand, which provided Bone Spear with vulnerability and also additional damage. This is by far one of the best legendary aspects you can have for this build. So if you're going for upgrades, you can go with this one. So yes, as I was farming with this initial weapon, I did find another weapon that is better. Then what I did was I took the essence and I crafted a weapon myself, and I also upgraded this weapon to level 3. So this build is getting a little more upgrade if you do get more legendaries, and this is by far the best legendary. But of course guys, I was able to do this without the whole legendary, and this is the best part about this initial farming build for the Necromancer. Now what I'll do is I'll attach this entire little replay to show you guys how I play the build, and do keep in mind I'm still testing the build and the build is a little squishy because we don't have all the legendaries. But the build itself is quite straightforward. You'll just be killing monsters, casting Corpse Explosion, and then trapping them with Bone Prison. And you don't really need the curses. I just had them because I had the spare skill points. And hopefully you guys try this build for Necromancer, because I do feel Necromancer is so much more nerfed. So coming over to the replay part. Now one thing I want to highlight guys is that I'm farming at Anikest claim, and this is the guide I used previously, and what you're going to see at the end of the video is I actually did the trick. So the trick is you reset the dungeon. You don't have to farm the whole dungeon. Without the dungeon reset button, you can still reset the dungeon. So notice I farmed the whole dungeon in a full circle, right? We can then be pressing E to select leave dungeon, and this is quite important because once you leave dungeon, you'll be able to reset the dungeon in about 1 to 2 minutes. So do not enter the dungeon after. Wait for 1 to 2 minutes. Usually I wait for at least 1 minute, then come back to the dungeon, it's resetted. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes. Just be aware of this, and you can be farming dungeon like this still very fast. So for more information, check out previous videos, we talk about this in more details.
These mines. She says we were sent to do good work, to deliver good material, to find gold for the law. She says it's part of the Father's grand plan. I'm faithful, true, I am. But to say this is the Father's work? I hear strange noises. I catch whiffs of a foul odor. And structures? We found sharp wooden holes scattered throughout the tunnels of
more time.
Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4.